Well, hi everyone, and welcome to the February 2026 edition of Poetry Superhighway Live. I almost had a coronary trying to say the word February. My apologies. Apologies. We're gonna get through this together. My name is Rick Lupert. Glad to be here with you. A lot of familiar faces in the open reading room tonight. It's going to be a good hour of poetry. Before we get to the open mics, some quick announcements or news of what we're doing here on Poetry Superhighway. The big thing that is happening right now is the Great Poetry Exchange. And in fact, it's the 25th year of this project, which is pretty cool. I think the whole idea behind it is if you've got a physical book of poems, and you're willing to send that to someone else in the world, then you sign up on our website, and I'm going to add your book title and description to the list, which exists all throughout the year. It might include a link to your book if you or website if you include one, so you get like kind of a whole year of listing. Then at the end of the month, what will happen is you'll receive an email from me with an address of someone else, and your whole job at that point will be to mail your book to that someone else. And it could be anyone in the world, which I tell you both because I think that's exciting, and also because when it comes down to it, if you get assigned someone in Tanzania, it can be shocking when you go to the post office and it's literally $100,000 to mail a book to Tanzania, and that can scare people. So I tell you that because you have to kind of agree that that might happen. You might have to send a book to somewhere far away, which will cost you more money. But if you're okay with that, and then someone somewhere else in the world will get your book, and you, in return or in exchange, if I may quote the name of the program, will receive a book from someone else somewhere else in the world. So I think that's cool. I think that's just the coolest thing that we do. Um, it kind of grew out of our contest, which, as you may know, has many sponsors. And so everyone who enters the contest gets a prize just for entering, which I thought was just such a cool, like, energy kind of thing to happen. Everyone's a winner. So I thought, well, how can I do that again without actually having to run a contest? And the Great Poetry Exchange came about 25 years. That's been happening or will have been happening at the end of this time around. So join in. Your book of poems have to be willing to mail it somewhere. You'll get a book in return. You can sign up on the Poetry Super Highway website, poetrysuperhighway.com/PSH. That's all the Poetry Superhighway news I need to tell you. So we're going to get to the open reading now. I see some new folks here at this event and some people who've been here before but who haven't signed up yet. So if you'd like to read, and I would love you to read, and you haven't done so, please send me a message in the chat and I'll be happy to add you to the list. You're welcome. If you're here and you're just watching, that's cool too. You don't have to read, but it'd be great if you did. Everyone gets to read a poem, and then I'll talk with you a little bit about what's going on in your poetry world if you have any news or anything that you want to share. So that's it. We're going to get to the open reading now. David Eberhardt, you're second. You'll be on deck, which leads us now to our first reader, Principe Guity. Hello, Principe.
I'll be reading one poem tonight, and it's titled On This Journey. Far from the place where I roomed a sacred temple of native symbols of my old home. It was a shallow for too long, so I got roped by a call to settle elsewhere. Approximately 1,200 miles. I see the stars clear, but the path was not always clear, at least in my view, because I'm only human, seeing what's in front of me. This stage of mine, the universe. Thank you.
Principe, thank you so much for being here and for opening up the reading for us. Nice to see you again. Do you, I guess you've gone away, which means you don't want to tell us anything about what's going on in your poetry world. That's cool. No problem. Not a requirement. Round of applause for Principe Guity. Or you're back. Would you like to let us know anything happening in your world?
No, not at the moment. No, not at the moment. No.
Okay, well, thanks for coming back on to tell us that. Nice to hear your voice again. Round of applause for Principe Guiti. On deck is Eric Paul Shaffer. Please welcome now David Eberhardt. Hello, David. David, you got to unmute. Okay, well, I guess David's having some trouble. Oh, there
Is
you are,
that
David.
good?
Go ahead.
Is
Yep,
that
that's
good?
good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Four very short poems and two, I
David,
would
I'm so
say,
sorry. It's a one poem per person situation, so pick a poem to read, and then we'll talk a little bit about what's going on in your world.
can't I have two? Very short, Rick.
Everyone gets to read a poem. Those are the rules, and we're going to stick with it. So thanks so much for understanding.
Well, you know me and your rules. Anyway, I'll give you a koan. An orange squeaks when you peel it. What rain means to a tiger. And you can use the William Blake spelling Tyger. Namaste. Rick, always with you. It's the rules. You got to be flexible, buddy.
Sure. Thanks for that tip. I'll keep it in mind. Is there anything that you have going on in your world you want to let us know about, poetry-wise?
No.
All right. Round of applause for David Eberhardt. Thanks for being here. On deck is Bhavin Sheth. Please welcome now Eric Paul Shaffer. Hello, Eric.
Greetings, everyone. Thank you for being here. Good to see you all again, or some of you all again. I was here last month. I'm going to reserve the title of the poem until I get to the end because it's a surprise. Here we go. This kid at the library was reading aloud to himself in the corner, and some old man reading the sports page, wasting time on men who play with balls for money, told the kid to shut up. A library, he said, was supposed to be quiet, so be quiet, for God's sake. And of course, in his mind, there was no doubt about who God was. When I saw the poor kid's surprise, his embarrassment, his shame, I finally spoke. I said, "Man, you shut up. Look, you grumpy fool. What we have here is a kid reading. He's reading. These days, that's a goddamn miracle. 13 hungry homeless people live on the library lawn, and you're upset because he's reading aloud? Listen, you dumb bastard. Silent reading is for the dead. Are you hearing me? His lips are moving because those words are alive. He's speaking aloud because what those words need to revive them is his breath. He's using his voice because all that story needs to be heard is his voice. So I have an idea. Toss the newspaper in the trash and go play some damn basketball instead of sitting on your flabby ass gazing at numbers about games you never saw. And while you're at it, find this poor kid a chair, get him a platform, a podium, a pulpit, put him on a pedestal to shout from his book in the strongest voice he can raise and ask him, no, beg him to read to you, to the library staff, to the patrons, to the 13 ravaged souls on the street, and to the rest of this vast, distracted nation. Let him read his book to us all and make us all one people for once concerned about what really matters. Let his voice lead us through a story we need to hear. Let him read. Just let him read. How I Lost My Library Card.
Man, I hope you found it, Eric, or at least, they can, don't they do that digitally now anyway? Can't you just use your phone for that?
Yeah, you can, but guess who doesn't have a phone? Just
You
one
moved to the
guess.
island, you gave up like Western civilization altogether, and you're being paid back by having to go inside because it's slightly chilly outside.
Exactly. When I retired, I got rid of the cell, which I spell Leash. So no, I don't need one anymore.
Very good. Anything going on in your poetry world you want to tell us about?
Okay, so this month or next month, my 10th book of poems comes out, Second Nature. And I just started work on a book that will reissue the first chapbook and the first full-length volume I ever published. It's going to be called Groundwork, and it contains The Fires Outside and Rattlesnake Rider, my first two works. So that's it for me. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Eric. And by the way, just a public thanks again for that review that you wrote of my book, High Moose Alert. Really meant a lot to be compared to Richard Brautigan in and the other folks that you mentioned. So that's the kind of thing I've said this before, but when we as poets, there's only so much success we're really going to achieve. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
that's like getting an Academy Award as far as I'm concerned. So thank you very
You are
much.
so sweet. All I can say is I'm still looking for the moose.
I don't know that it's going to make its way to Hawaii from Alaska, but if it does, let me know because I'll be on my way to check it out. Round of applause for Eric Paul Shaffer. On deck, Lawrence Berger, please welcome now Bhavin Sheth. Hello, Bhavin.
Hey, hello everybody. Okay, this poem is untitled. Um, it was a protean beginning, unquickened, unwrought, before you descended to sculpt it into a form I scarcely dared desire, as one who peers at a body of light from another age, daring himself but the briefest beholding. It was a spring leaf, suspiring past all keeping, unarmored in its first becoming, until you became its sun, a glow that warmed, ab eterno, never burned, a light that from dawn unbegun stirred seeing, never blinded, a solace that held its trembling till time itself grew tender. It was at once typhoon and zephyr, storming, drifting blindly, drifting, until you came as its eye, an eye that gathered the storm, held it whole, breathed melody into its turning, haloed its voice, so even the anechoic heaven heard. Thank you.
That was great, Bhavin. A lot of beautiful language in your piece there. Thank you so much for bringing it to us today. What's happening with you?
Oh gosh, I know you're going to ask me this question. I really don't have an answer. This is my first reading. This is my first time, so
First time like reading ever or first time
ever,
in this space?
ever.
Oh my God. Well,
First
that's
time.
that's the big news,
Okay.
Bhavin, that you've taken a step forward into like a whole world
Yeah.
of of interacting with other poets, and it's I think it's one of the best things you can do.
No, I agree.
It's you,
I was there
you're
last month. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was there last month and I was like, yeah, the people seem really friendly. So I said, well, maybe I can dip my toe.
Your toes in, and it's never coming out, Bhavin. I got to tell you. So
Thank you.
keep coming back. It's really it's good for your work to read it out loud and to gauge reactions from other people.
Sure.
And on top of which, you're exposing yourself to other people who are reading and hearing their work, which informs your
Hmm.
sensibility as well.
Oh, definitely.
So nice job being here. Congratulations, Mazel
Thanks for
Tov,
having me.
and come back
Thank
and do
you.
it again.
Thank you.
First
Appreciate
time
it.
reading ever from Houston, Bhavin Sheth. Well
Thank
done.
you.
We broke him in. Be kind, everyone. All right, on deck, Lorraine MacMillan. Please welcome now Lawrence Berger, who I believe has read once or twice before.
Couple. Thanks, Rick. I'm going to do what's going to be to some people a new poem, but it's actually an old standard because it's February. It's called Reply for a Goddess. You offer me a treasure far beyond the dreams of mortal men, and just one single night with you could satisfy the eternal lust of Zeus himself. Ah, but alas, after all, I am only a man, with naught but human emotions, frailties, and I can never possibly worship you as you truly deserve. For I am but a mere mortal, and I have no powers to grant. All I'd ever possibly have to offer you would be my heart. But then again, tell me please, how can I give you that which you already own?
That's perfect for this time of year, Lawrence. Well done. Thanks for sharing that with us. What's happening with you and poems?
Well, let's see. I've got a reading at a local bookstore called Books Etc. coming up on the 22nd. And I'm on the board of an organization called Just Poets that's doing a special workshop on how to do your first feature on the 21st. That will be available online. If you want, Rick, I can put the contact person in the chat so you can find
Sure.
out more about that. And that's what's going on with me. My books are going well. And that poem was published in the first edition of Instant Poetry Just Add Words and in the third edition, Word Dancing. So that's me.
That's cool. You're staying consistent out there. The concept of like a workshop or a session to learn how to give a featured reading is really interesting to me. I don't remember what it was like the first time I gave a featured reading. So, but thinking about it conceptually, like if you're asked to do that and you've never done that before, you suddenly have to think all kinds of things like, oh my gosh, how long am I supposed to read? What poem should I pick? And there's all kinds of things to think about. So that seems like
Yeah.
a really useful workshop that's going to be happening.
Yeah. I'll put the link to the person who's in charge of that kind of thing for the organization into the chat. His name's Bart White.
Cool. All right. Well, great. Larry, thank you so much. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Round of applause for Lawrence Berger. On deck, Duane Herrman. Please welcome now Lorraine MacMillan. Hello, Lorraine.
Greetings, everybody. I had one poem I was going to read, but changed my mind at the last minute because I've been watching a lot of the news. And it's this poem I just wrote. It's called Where is Nancy, Savannah's Mom? Can you escape the news of this missing lady? Something is really shady. Twists and turns, hearts burn. What is what is it? An inside story? Is she alive? Did she leave and drive? Who took her? We ask, who is hiding behind the mask? Who took this old lady? Does the family know? Whoever it is, let her go. And the truth will blow our minds when we find out someday.
Cool. Yeah. I like that you made a choice to make a switch at what you were going to do. Sometimes it's good to live in the moment and go with the seasons, as it were. So that's what you were feeling today. So thanks for sharing that piece. What's happening with you, Lorraine?
A lot. But anyway, I'll just share with you, not poetry, but what's going on is my sister's dog, who we all love, her name is Lady, and she got bit at a doggy daycare. She had to have stitches and a lot of problems, and she has a cone, and she got her stitches out, and she's getting the cone off tomorrow, and I'm going to be with her tomorrow for that, and I'm excited to see her because I haven't seen her since it happened. I'm going to be part of the celebration.
Well, we all have a cone phase in our lives, so I guess that's the one that's happening now for you. You'll get past this. It's going to be great, and I'm glad you get to have that reunion. And thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Round of applause for Lorraine MacMillan. Oddly enough, March's theme is everybody wears a cone to the reading, so think about that. Well, if you want to be here for that next month, it's optional. You don't have to. That's just the suggested theme. LB Sedlacek, you are on deck. Please welcome now Duane Herrman. Hello, Duane.
Hi there. This one I'm going to read is called Prairie is My Home. Wind, grass, and sky, these things define my home. When I do not feel blowing wind, I feel so alone, nothing is around me. If I cannot see huge open sky, I am shut in, and I need horizon line to know where the end. Grass in wind talks to me, whispers that all is well, and I am home, I am home. And that is from my latest publication, right there, Prairie is My Home. It was posted online last week by Origami Poems Project, and you can download it for free. It is on one piece of paper, and there's folding, cutting instructions, and they have about 6 or 7 of my poems there. And today, a review of this book of mine was posted on Latinos USA Bookshelf. And in a week or so, another review of a book of mine will be posted there.
I hear Bad Bunny will be reading from that book as part of his set at the Super Bowl today.
Probably.
And on your first book, I Am Home, have you thought, based on what we've talked about today, of changing the title or putting out a sequel called I Am Cone?
I'll take it under advisement.
Okay, do that. Duane, always good to hear your work. Thank you so much for being here.
Enjoy it.
He's in charge of all the cones in Topeka, so maybe all of Kansas, actually. So
all of Kansas, that's right. I got it covered.
Less people there, so they have to spread everyone has more than one job. So
that's right.
Thank you, Duane.
That's right.
Round of applause for Duane Herrman. On deck, Climbing Sun. Please welcome LB Sedlacek. Hi, LB.
Hi, Rick. Hi, everybody. I don't have a cone. I have a lot of traffic cones in my driveway that's covered in ice still. It's a really long driveway. I'm going to read a poem called War Stories. We trade war stories like trading cards or appetizer samplers, tossing the human horrors we survived or helped someone else survive. It's Friday afternoon, raining. We're eating subs for lunch, mine without bread, drinking water, soda, tea. Knives that anchor us like armor, old friends commiserating at how far, how long it takes to return to normal, to get another chance for a truce.
Nice change of mood for us and topic, LB. Thank you so much for that piece. What's happening with you in poetry?
I've just been working on some environmental poems. I used to write those when I first started writing, and just decided to work on a book of that. So that's what I've been doing. And I want to mention the Great Poetry Exchange. I don't know how long I've been participating in that, but I think it's awesome to get a book of poetry. I like to buy books of poetry every month, and from different poets that I've met or know or whatever. And I really enjoy reading it. But I loved getting that because it's such a nice surprise for me. I love to read anyway, so.
That's great. It's been decades, I think, that you've been participating in Poetry Superhighway stuff, as best as I can tell. And then I have trouble remembering more than 2 months ago. But I mean, it's there's a familiarity to your presence in these projects, and I'm glad you're enjoying it and that you keep joining in.
Yeah, I'm glad to have the opportunity to do that.
Cool. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for being here, and good luck with the book that you're working on. Sounds like a important one to be talking about in terms of the environment and such. So good luck with it.
Thank you.
All right, round of applause for LB Sedlacek. On deck, Catherine Perkins. Please welcome now Climbing Sun. Hello, Climbing Sun.
Hello. Thanks for hosting this. This is so much fun and looks like a receptive audience. I'm going to read a sort of a historical poem. It's actually true, more or less. It's called No Grant for Buffalo. In 1872, spent from locking horns over the South, Congress caught a popular mood when both chambers sang the same tune. No more killing the national animal. No more shooting them from the stages and trains for sport. No more stripping the skin, casting the carcass to spoil. They sent it over to Grant, but the warhorse had had another bad night. Yesterday's papers railed on his wardrobe. His missus found out the cabinet was crammed with crooks. In a dream, Lee had beaten him again at poker. In a nightmare, he'd swallowed his cigar, igniting his Adam's apple like a lump of charcoal. His head throbbed from mixing his whiskeys. He was in no mood to be civil to anybody. On cue, the son's mutt nipped his ankle and ran. He saw red, drew his pen, and butchered the bill into oblivion. He felt 50% better. In the streets, the sheeply people said, "He is Ulysses' namesake. He took Richmond. He must have a strategy to outflank some evil we can't see." After dark, in the White House, half the cabinet dropped by for a nightcap, a backslap, and a good laugh at the thought of the last couple of buffalo falling all over each other, prancing. Thank you.
Wow, Climbing Sun, another stellar piece from you. Someone was asking earlier if we had a place where the winners of our contest were reading, and well, we just experienced it. I don't know if everyone knows or remembers, but Climbing Sun won first place in this past year's contest, and has become a regular here in Poetry Superhighway Live, which we're all lucky for. So thank you for that. My favorite line, I think, was his head throbbed from mixing his whiskeys, which, as an enjoyer of whiskey, I felt the pain both in the results of having done that, as well as the pain in having to made a decision to do that. You don't mix your whiskeys. I mean, it's not something you do. Anyway, what's happening with you in poetry?
Well, I'm in a weekly poetry group, which forces me and everybody else in it to create a poem a week, which is a lot when you have other things going on in your life. It's called Poets on the Fringe, and we just published our second anthology. It's been going on for a few years here in Boca Raton, Florida. And other than that, I'm very close to publishing my fourth book, which is a series of prose poems. It's a memoir, and it's my second memoir because I published one called Sun Dances a few years ago, and I think I'm going to sign up for the book exchange and send that one to somebody. So anyway, I didn't put my whole life in there. I realized there were huge parts of it that didn't make it into Sun Dances, so they're going to go into one called Sun at Play.
That's great. Well, it sounds like you've got a lot going on, and I agree. Like that, didn't you said about the group? It sort of forces your involvement in poetry. I think that's really that's why I do these readings because it forces me to continue a connection to poets and poetry. And I think that, if one claims to be an artist of any kind, you need to force yourself to be involved with that art in some way. So that's what I get out
Absolutely.
of doing this. And so I think that's a good, I'm glad you said that. And I appreciate you being here.
I wouldn't go anywhere else. This is great fun for me. Thank you so much.
You're allowed to go other places.
Well, I
I mean,
know, but
we'll claim
I
you
won't
as
tell
our
you.
own, but you're allowed to go to other places too.
All right.
Round of applause for Climbing Sun. Thank you so much for being here. Just a few more. I've got Catherine Perkins, Elizabeth Iannaci, Jordan Jones, and me. If I missed anyone and you'd like to be added, please send me a message in the chat, and now's your last chance to do that, and I'll add you to the list. So, Elizabeth, you are on deck. Please welcome now Catherine Perkins. Hello, Catherine.
Hello. Thanks for putting me on tonight. Hello, everybody. Uh, the title of this poem is Booty Banter. In this day and age, when you can't say nice ass or what a big bottom you have, or simply what a butt about a person's buttocks, unless in private or with consent, it's comforting to know there are other ways to admire or admonish the big three gluteal muscles that motivate many a mammal. But I'm happy to say I can say anything I want about the shape or state of a horse's hind end, and no one, not even the equine, gives a damn. In fact, there's a plethora of derrieres I can comment about without upsetting the apple cart. Canines, felines, beetles, rodents, bovines, and fowl. The list endless. And how it's okay to talk about my own bulbous rear's descent from power because of too much time being supine with without any pushing or flexing and pulling, and how now, as a result of not using, hence losing, I possess a large, jiggly, and weak Sitzfleisch. I possess, oh wait, but I'm working. I'm building up this old rump because I want tight cheeks, a powered packed ass, to run and jump. Who do I think I'm fooling? But a walk would be nice. I want nice buns.
But sorry, Catherine, that was so much fun. But just a quick clarification. Most of what I say to other people is "what a butt." Are you saying that that's not early in the poem? That's not. I shouldn't be saying that.
No, you can say what a butt, but if you
That
have
was
their consent, I'm just saying.
Okay, so
You
I
can
need
say what a
consent.
butt about my butt anytime you want.
Okay,
That's
noted. Thank you for that. I
okay.
appreciate the
Yeah.
permission. What a fun poem. Thank you so much for lighting it up for us today. Anything you want to share with us happening with you in poetry?
Well, I've had a few poems picked up and a few published recently. I just had three that were what you can't see it because I'm blurred from pen to page three. It's an anthology from the Bluegrass Writers Coalition, and I'm working on another collection, and it's all based inspired by words. Uh, Different words. This poem was actually inspired by the word Sitzfleisch, and so it's some of my poems are a little anal and all in alphabetical order. That that's
I
pretty
think
much
this
it.
one was, if you'll forgive me, in alphabetical order.
You are the comedian, huh?
Uh,
And I do
you're my
stand up,
entire
but
audience,
you got me
but maybe
laughing. I'm just saying.
that's good. That's the goal. Well, Catherine, I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much for being here, and come back.
Thank you for doing this. This is great fun. So thank you.
Because you made it so today. A round of applause for
Oh
Catherine
no,
Perkins.
everybody's been entertaining. Great poets.
Good, good, agreed. Okay. Round of applause for Catherine Perkins. On deck is Jordan Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Elizabeth Iannaci. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi. I'm so happy to be here. Usually I've got something going on Sunday afternoons that didn't happen today. So yay. So I have a poem that it's one of the few poems I wrote last year. It's for my sister who passed in October, my older sister. This is called Across the Known World for my sister Kathy. Don't let go of her hand, I was told, but I was so little and she was fearless. Hadn't yet developed a bad reputation, so I held, was dragged through briars, bramble, seesaws, and scab knees up to rooftops where she never let me fall. But there, wind stole sweaters, tied knots into every part of us, blew us across the known world to land on warm sands where I had to let go because I gulped too much of the green Pacific, making me afraid but brave watching her from the beach, knowing she had moved on as she knelt on some blonde surfer's board, waves breaking under them, her squealing with laughter until the sound rose like a seagull flapping before a current of air takes over and is spent, the way love becomes a hindrance before it ripens into gratitude, the way memory is dappled by years, blurring unimportant details, bringing into sharp focus what I was too close to see then, the brilliance of her, and how the very air around her shimmered.
Elizabeth, that air still exists, and I hope that you are breathing it as much as possible. Sorry about the loss of your sister. I know a little bit of time has gone by anyway, but I'm so happy that you're here to read that piece. It's always a delight just to see your face, let alone hear a poem from you. What's happening with you in poetry?
Well, I really devoted a good chunk of last year to submitting. I'm terrible about submitting things, and it was probably 7 or 8 months where really all I did was submit. Probably got 15 poems accepted to different publications. But in the meantime, I wasn't writing much because it just takes a tremendous amount of energy to get that stuff out there. So I'm spending a few months writing. I mean, like purposefully writing, you know. So
That's great. Yeah, I mean, it goes in cycles, I think. I think we all, write a lot and then don't write a lot. Uh, uh, and submitting is so much work, you know, and everyone has different guidelines and they all have to be followed, so it's a lot to pay attention to and then keep track of, and it's so it seems daunting and it's we didn't become poets because we wanted to do that work, you know.
yeah,
So I get it, but that's 15 acceptances sounds fantastic. So well done.
thank you. Thank you. And this has been a great reading. I'm always so happy when I get to come. So thank you for having these.
There's always a spot for you wherever I am, Elizabeth. So please keep coming when you can. Round of applause for Elizabeth Iannaci. I may be sounding extra familial with Elizabeth, but that's because we happen to be really good friends outside of this Zoom. So There you go. There's always a spot for the rest of you too. Just accept that. Take it with you. I'm on deck to close out the reading, unless I missed someone who wanted to sign up. Please welcome now our next reader, Jordan Jones. Hello, Jordan.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm going to read a poem called Zen Baker. He who bakes bread shall know grain by touch, and blood of fibers shall expand his heart as he leans to knead. Dough, secret and liquid, shall rise toward the hot stoves of his hands, teaching him to breathe, to press and pull a loaf into shape from within as he dances without. He shall hide behind his apron a belly of knowledge, rounded alike by deep brown successes and burnt failures.
Wow, Jordan, nice one. Powerful, packs a punch in a short piece. Can you breathe up there in the mountains? How's the air?
It's good. It's good. I'm not, of course, on top of this mountain. I'm right next to this mountain, about 5 miles away. But we're at 5,000 feet here, and that's 10,000 feet at the top of the mountain.
Where is there?
Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's Sandia Peak.
Very nice. Is this your first time here?
No, I was here a couple times, I think.
Okay. Well, that just goes to show you my memory isn't as good as it should be. But I'm glad that you're here.
Happens to us all.
Yes. Plan on me forgetting next time as well as probably mispronouncing your name. I mean, that's just how it works. What's happening with you in poetry?
Well, I sent 5 poems out to Gargoyle a few months ago, and they accepted all of them. So those are coming out in March. And I said, you send out 5 poems because you think maybe one of these will click, and they're all coming out. So that's good.
You're just that good, Jordan, in their eyes.
It happens. It happens.
That's cool. Well done. That's a fun bit of news to get. Well done. I'm glad that you were here, not for the first time, and I'm looking forward to hearing more from you in the future. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. Round of applause for Jordan Jones. All right. Well, I'm going to close out the reading with a poem from my book, High Moose Alert. So still on High Moose Alert, in case anyone comes across one, send it my way. This is towards the end of our trip in Alaska, and we were visiting Portage Glacier, which was just outside of Anchorage. So here's some notes from that. Rachel notes as we pass by the caribou, the difference between reindeer and caribou is reindeer can fly, obviously. All the bears are the same species, they just live in different neighborhoods. Next up, Portage Glacier. The boat gets close enough so you can lick it, I'd imagine. Rain and low visibility where we board the boat, praying for a midnight sunstorm. The boat is called the Ptarmigan. It's the state's national boat. The forest was established to protect the salmon. We're on a new lake formed in the 20th century. It still has that new lake smell. These mountains were created when the North American and Pacific plates collided with each other. The glacier is receding or going to meet its nearby friend, the Shakespeare Glacier. We see many baby glaciers floating in Portage Lake. This blue ice, thousands of years old, carved this valley, made this lake possible. It doesn't calve while we're there. That's okay. Let it take its time. I'm barely the blink of an eye on a glacier's calendar. There you go. High Moose Alert which was given high praise by Eric Paul Shaffer here in the room with us tonight. Thank you again, Eric. Wow, everyone, thank you so much for being here. This was a great afternoon of poetry. Really enjoyed everything that I heard from everyone. A quick note to let you know that next month's reading will be on March 8th. They're not always exactly 4 weeks apart or on the same exact Sunday. It kind of depends on the calendar and what I have going on Sundays. So in this case, it is exactly a month away, March 8th. So plan on being here. Reminder, the Great Poetry Exchange is happening now. So if you have a book and would like to send it to someone else in the world in exchange for receiving one from someone else in the world, go to poetrysuperhighway.com/PSH, click on the Great Poetry Exchange banner that pops up and sign up. It's free to participate except for whatever it might cost you to send your book somewhere else in the world. So there you go. You'll send your book, you'll get a book from someone else. It'll be fun. Do that. And finally, Valentine's Day is coming up. And in a little while, I don't know if you're familiar with the website Haikuniverse, which I run. It's a sister website to Poetry Superhighway, publishes a small poem every day. And every year on Valentine's Day, I pick 25 poems and publish one per hour on throughout Valentine's Day, starting the evening, midnight Pacific time on February 13th. The call for submissions is about to go out later tonight, but just as a special a treat benefit for being here, I'm pasting the link to the already existing submission form to the Valentine's Day project. If you've got Valentine's Day haiku or micro poems, you can submit them, and maybe one of them will get picked to be published on Valentine's Day on the Haikuniverse website. That's it. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Principe, David, Eric, Bhavin, Lawrence, Lorraine, Duane, LB, Climbing Sun, Catherine Perkins, Elizabeth, Jordan. Thanks all for being here, and anyone who is watching anywhere else, YouTube, thanks for being here. I'm going to click on the Ask All to Unmute button in case you all want to say hi to each other.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome, Bhavin. Glad to see you.
Hey, thank you.
Just
It
want
was
to say I'm
good.
going because I'm going to the Super Bowl party.
Well,
You have
Bye.
fun.